good afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Welcome to my OnlyFans. We are starting the day with Discord and Patreon, but first I wanted to give a quick introduction to the day, why we chose the things that we did, where things are going in the coming months, and so on. So I am very excited about today. A lot of these topics have been germinating in the GetGlobal ecosphere for several years. We've gotten pretty close to the tech industries and e-commerce companies, and they just seem to have a different set of needs than most companies, or at least they have some that are very different, and they warranted a bit of special attention. So we're focusing on e-commerce, consumer web, SaaS, gaming, video, and a variety of other things related to all that. And these were kind of the hot topics that we just get questions about a lot. You know, I mean, even in sessions that are explicitly named one thing, like international sales, we're going to be talking about organizational structure, or how do you get executive buy-in and things like that. So that kind of guided how we wanted to shape all of this. What we're seeing in the near to mid-term, i.e. through the end of this year and perhaps a little bit into the next, is that, you know, the economy seems to be rebounding. There are a lot of really rosy predictions about how the world economy and the US economy and various other areas are going to be performing. And in some cases, that sounds reasonable, but there's a lot of, I don't know, there just seem to be reasons to be cautious and make contingency plans, even while we experience animal spirits taking over again. And for the tech industry, you know, there have been so many vectors that have increased, you know, the positive tailwinds in their projections for the future, and certainly over the past year, it's been a boon to quite a few of them, that it changed the landscape quite a bit. So a lot of folks are going to be wondering what things are like when it comes back to normal, how folks are going, you know, consumers, businesses, et cetera, even governments are going to be responding to these phenomena, and what's likely here to stay. So what's coming down the line with GetGlobal is that, you know, we're sort of, if you've been to our events before, the convention center style stuff, we make it a huge smorgasbord. We have everything. It's a big deal. You're kind of in the middle of a supermarket with all kinds of sections, and it's just up to you to figure out where to go. And and that's by design. There's a lot of cross-learning. I'm a big fan of the Bauhaus movement and the idea that you can take things from one discipline and apply it to something else. And the folks who come tend to appreciate that. But that just doesn't work in the virtual environment. So we're unpacking each track and creating a couple of new ones and giving them their own sub-brands. So that's what gave rise to the Grow to Market idea and brand. We'll be focusing in the coming months on things like supply chain and trade. If you've been paying attention to the Suez Canal fiasco, you know, anything can come up. But, you know, tail risks and black swans aside, you know, we'll be looking at, you know, temporal and structural issues that could be changing and what that means around the world, including things like the specter of decoupling from China and so on. And then we have something that we've been in the works on, and it's a little too soon to get too deep into it. But as you've noticed over the past year, we've gotten into a lot of topics that are very zeitgeisty about how companies can be better by all of their stakeholders, whether that's by their people, by their customers, by governments that they interact with, and just generally making the world a better place and doing it in a genuine way. You know, Angela Davis had an interesting perspective on this, which is that, you know, diversity and inclusion is a corporate strategy. It is not real transformation. And personally, in my heart, you know, what I'd like to see is real transformation and sincerity, and companies looking at every box in their org chart to figure out how they can do better and be better by the people that they serve immediately and in the wider world So expect to see a lot more on that. I'm also delighted to say that Grow to Market is not a once-a-year thing. We'll be coming back on this most likely in July. So if you're watching and you want to participate or send me topics on things that you are working through and thinking about, we'll be kind of cogitating on the agenda. And yeah, and if you want to sponsor, jump right in. And to that point, we have some excellent sponsors. Now, I mentioned in the registration link, do you want to be introduced to our partners? They really are partners. We work very closely with them. They give me a lot of interesting feedback. They help promote us. They introduce us to folks. And honestly, they'll do the same for you. They are really delightful people. We're in the luxurious position of having a wide variety of sponsors and partners that come at their approach to us from a very collaborative and just cool vibe. There are no Glengarry Glen Ross energies around here. We've worked hard to avoid any of that nonsense. And if you want to talk to them informally, they're not going to hustle you or anything. They're really lovely people and so helpful and so knowledgeable. I really do recommend chatting with them at the first opportunity because they're just full of deep information on what to do and how to avoid trouble and who to be talking to at the right time. They're just magnificent. So Tucker is coming in at an interesting moment. We're going to be talking to Patreon and Discord, and we're chatting with you later, Tucker. Oh, he's connecting. I don't know if he can hear me, but we'll let him know. So at the moment, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Sean McGreer.